Okay, so welcome back, and now we're going to start getting into adding signed numbers. Okay, so a lot of times we talk about in real life, and again, phrasing questions is very important to understand. Okay, you got to read problems carefully, especially when it comes to word problems. There's lots of things that we hear, or when we read something, we hear that we're dealing with a negative number. For example, if I say that the launch is going to happen, let's say we are 5 minutes before takeoff. Okay, well, 5 minutes before takeoff means that, hey, we're at negative 5 minutes, right? Or you hear on countdowns, when they countdowns to the launch of the space shuttle or a rocket, they say T minus 2 minutes, right? So that means we're negative 2 minutes before time, okay, or before takeoff, okay? If I have a net profit of $30,000, that's a positive number, versus if I have a quarterly loss of $30,000, that's negative, right? Because I'm talking about loss, okay? And if I'm overdrawn on my bank account, that means I'm in the negative, right? So there's lots of things that we have to carefully read and understand so that we can key in on whether we're dealing with a negative number or a positive number. Okay, so let's do some examples and we'll set this up. And I'm going to use arrows to model what's going on so you can visualize it. So it says we want to do 3 plus 4. Okay, so 3 plus 4, right? So we're going to represent this as arrows. So let's say I have again, I like terms of money. It's easy to understand when we deal with terms of money. If I have $4, right? So that means I'm starting at 0 and I have $4. So I have $4. So I'm going to draw an arrow to there. So that represents 4. And somebody gives me $3. Okay, well that means I'm adding, so that means I'm going to put another arrow at the tip of this arrow. So that means I'm going to go in the same direction, right? I'm adding positive 3. So I have $4 and somebody gives me $3. Well then I'm going to go another $3 here, right? So if I have $3, so let's say I have 2 arrows, one arrow representing $4 and the other representing $3. Well, what would I do? Well, if I want to add these, I would add the 2 arrows from from head to tail. So I would place the tail of this arrow at the head of this arrow. So I'm going to then write it like that. So if I add these 2 amounts, then what happens? Well, I get what? An arrow that goes from 0 to 7. So what does that tell me? 4 plus 3 equals 7. So the answer is positive 7, right? Or just 7. If the positive sign is not included, it's assumed to be positive. Okay. Now let's take this example. Now I'm taking negative 4 plus negative 3. Okay, well think about this. Let's say I owe someone $4. Well now, so that means I am negative, right? Because I owe that person. Okay, so that means I'm going to have an arrow that starts at 0 and goes the other direction, goes to the left, and it goes to $4. Okay, and let's say I owe a person $4 and then I owe another person $3. So that means that's another arrow that's going in the negative direction. $3. And so now if I want to add these 2, again, I'm going to add tail of one arrow to the head of the other. So that means I'm going to slide this one to here. And so what happens is I get the arrows lined up like that. And so what happens is if I add them, what do I get? I get an arrow that basically goes from 0 to -7. So what does that tell me? It tells me that -4 plus -3 gives me -7. And that should make sense if you talk about money. So think about it as money owed versus money that's given or gained. Okay? Since I owe $4 to one person and I owe $3 to another person, in total I owe people $7. So I owe a total of $7. So -4 plus -3 equals -7. Okay. Have a great day.